The phone rang at 7:42 on a Tuesday morning, the kind of crisp October day in Dayton where the leaves look painted on and the coffee tastes better. Because winter's still a rumor. I was halfway through my second cup, staring at the garage calendar where I'd circled Ethan's grand opening in red ink 3 months ago. The caller ID said Ethan Sell. My heart did that little skip it always does when one of my kids calls first. I answered on the second ring. Hey, kiddo. No hello. No how's the knee holding up, Dad? Just his voice, tight and clipped like he'd rehearsed it. Did you get the invoice I forwarded last night? For the dust collection upgrade? I blinked. Set the mug down. Yeah, I saw it. $4,800. Looks steep, but good. Sophia needs it paid by Friday or the supplier holds. The next shipment of cherry stock. Can you wire it today? There it was. Not a question. An expectation. I felt the air leave the kitchen like someone opened a window. In January. Ethan, I said slowly, the opening was supposed to be this Saturday. You still want me there, right? Front row for the ribbon? A pause. Long enough I could hear the hum of his shop in the background, table saw winding down, maybe a sander. We pushed it back a little. Quiet launch last month. Just family and a couple buyers from Columbus. Didn't want the pressure, you know how I get. I stood there in my socks on the cold tile looking at the red circle. On the calendar like it had betrayed me. 6 weeks. My boy had opened Hickory and Forge without me, without even a text. The $180,000 I'd handed over, my 401k drained. To the bone, Patricia's insurance money I'd kept socked away since the funeral was already turning into someone else's quiet success story. I didn't yell. I never have. Instead, I said, very calmly, I'll look at the invoice. And hung up. That was the hook. 3 minutes from ring to gut punch. The rest of the story unraveled the way old engines do. Slow, with a lot of listening and a few parts you wish you'd checked sooner. I'm Harlan Whitaker, 67, retired. From the GM plant after 40 years of grease under my nails and overtime on my soul. Patricia and I never had much, but we had habits. Save first, spend second, trust family always. When Ethan came home from trade school in 19 with blueprints for a custom furniture shop in a crumbling barn 30 miles outside Cincinnati, I saw the spark in his eyes I'd missed since he was 12 and building birdhouses in the driveway. Dad, he said, this is it. Hickory and Forge. Heirloom pieces. No particle board, no rush jobs. I believed him the way only a father can. I wrote the check for $180,000. No contract. He looked hurt when I mentioned one. Dad, it's us. I backed off. Stupid, maybe. But love makes you stupid sometimes. The first year was golden. Weekend FaceTimes showing reclaimed oak slabs, excited. Rants about mortise and tenon joints, pictures of the first dining table sold to a doctor in Louisville. Then Sophia stepped in to handle the numbers. She's smart, real estate license, quick with spreadsheets, and she loves Ethan. I told myself that mattered. But the Sunday calls shrank to texts. Text shrank to forwarded PDFs labeled Urgent Supplier. The grand opening date I'd circled kept getting excuses. Budget tight. Ethan stressed. We'll do a big one later. After that Tuesday call, I drove down unannounced. The barn looked different. Fresh stain on the siding, gravel lot smoothed out, a simple. Cedar sign, Hickory and Forge, custom woodworking. Lights on inside. Through the tall windows, I saw Ethan planing a board while a young couple ran fingers over. A walnut credenza, smiling like they'd found treasure. The place was alive. Opened, thriving, and 6 weeks old without my name on the guest list. I didn't go in. I sat in the truck for 20 minutes, watching my investment breathe without me. Then I went home and started digging. Old mechanic habit you don't guess, you trace. Bank statements, wire transfers, every email Ethan sent in the early days. The original promise was there in black and white. You'll be part of this, Dad. Silent partner, but in the loop on everything big. Grand opening qualified as big. So did the $22,000 that had quietly flowed to a consulting LLC called Apex. Growth partners. Director, Sophia's cousin Marco, whose LinkedIn said entrepreneur and nothing else specific. $2,000 a month for 11 months. No invoices attached, no deliverables listed, just strategic business development. I called my old union buddy Ray, who retired into part-time forensic bookkeeping. He took the stack, whistled low, and came back 3 days later. Harlan, it's not fraud exactly, but it's sloppy. And it's family taking care of family, Sophia's. Family. Ethan answered my call that Sunday. He sounded smaller than usual. Dad, I'd like to come by Tuesday. Bring Sophia. We need to talk numbers. In person. He didn't argue. Tuesday afternoon, the barn smelled like fresh-cut cedar and tension. We sat at the big workbench, my boy, his wife, me, and a folder of printouts. No raised voices. I laid it out methodically. The missing opening, the consulting payments, the personal guarantee Ethan had signed on the lease without telling me. The risk sat entirely on him. Sophia explained Marco helped with vendor outreach and online presence. Ethan stared at the table like the grain might tell him. What to say? Turns out he'd approved the line item, but never asked what it bought. I trusted her to handle it, he said quietly. Sophia said, he knew. The truth probably lived somewhere in the middle, bruised and embarrassed. I didn't demand the money back that day. I asked for 3 things: full accounting, a repayment plan for the $22,000, and my written okay on any spend over $3,000 going forward. Not because I don't trust you, I told them. Because I want to keep trusting you. They agreed. 2 weeks later, the accounting arrived, clean, detailed, with Marco's contract quietly canceled, repayment set at $1,000 a month from shop profits. I signed off. Things changed slowly after that. Ethan started calling before big purchases. Dad, new joiner, $4,200. Thoughts? I'd drive down every other Saturday with donuts and bad coffee. He'd walk me through new pieces, ask my opinion on finishes. Last spring, he carved Built with Dad's Faith under the leaf of a cherry table headed to a gallery in Chicago. I pretended dust got in my eye when he showed me. The money mattered once. Now it's background noise. What matters is the phone doesn't ring with invoices anymore. It rings with questions. With, hey, Dad, you free this weekend? With the sound of a son who finally remembered, I don't need a grand opening. I need a seat at the workbench. I'm 67. I've buried a wife, rebuilt more engines than I can count, and learned the hardest lesson late. Love without paperwork is generous, but love with clear terms is honest, and honest lasts longer than generous ever will.